Hey guys, what's going on? So I've already been thinking about doing this video prior to the update that they just posted, which is that there's going to be a new Magic Council unit. Obviously because Genie is getting switched out of Pantheon, and you know which one is getting switched out because there's a little switch symbol when you go into Pantheon, and then Genie is obviously the one that has that symbol. They did that for Riding Hood. They replaced it with Frankenstein. And obviously, they were only going to replace Genie if they came out with a new Magic Council unit. So the obvious answer to all of your questions of, is this new unit that they just teased going to be an event unit? Yes, it is. I've already been thinking about this for a while, and I just didn't make it a video because I think that my thoughts on this are very obvious. And they have been for a while, ever since maybe Treant or Phoenix. And it's the idea that I don't care about event units. I just simply don't care about event units. Treant, I spent like a large quantity of money on, and I'm not like mad that, you know, like I've spent like a lot of money on it and Banshee is a better card. I'm not mad at that. I'm mad at the idea. And the reason why I stopped caring about event units was there's two reasons. One is they do it all the time. It was just Phoenix, Gunslinger, Kobold, Frankenstein. Was there another one in between there too? Twilight Ranger. And then this new one. They just come out with them so often. And then two, I stopped caring because it doesn't do anything to the game. Now, they would have you think that it does do something to the game. It gives you new interesting units for you to play. And this is my counter argument to that. And I used to play a game called Disney Sorcerer's Arena. And it got to a point where they were also doing this, where in the current state of the game, there were enough good units to beat the whole game. It was essentially like a single player story based game, but then they made it a PvP game, even though not a lot of people like doing that. And so they kept introducing new units and new characters and, you know, like new things to spend money on, because that is how they make money. They don't make money if they give Bombardier talents. If they give Bombardier talents, everybody's gonna max it out. I've done this argument too, where even if, like, I would prefer them to do all the things that they've already set up in this game and then add new units, because at that point, then yes, you need new content. But it's the idea that the current units in the game don't even all have talents. Current legendaries that are in the game don't have reincarnations, and they're like, here's a new unit to spend money on, here's a new unit to spend money on, here's a new unit to spend money on, here's a new event unit that's the best unit to spend money on, that has reincarnations, that has all of these plus things, but your Corsair is going to do nothing, your Boreas is going to do nothing, your Meteor is going to do nothing, like all of these units are going to do, your Minotaur is going to do nothing. So, but spend all this money on this, all this other stuff. If they simply added talents, and again, I don't think it would do anything. Adding talents to Archer and Sentry don't do anything. And the argument is that when those got dropped into the game, and that was the last time they added talents to things that were not already also had reincarnations that were new units. That was the time when they did that to Archer and Sentry. People talked about it for like a week, and then nobody cared. And so it doesn't do anything to the game. It doesn't add anything to the game. It doesn't, like, you're not playing an Archer deck. You're not using, unless it's a support thing, like unless they come out with a talent like a Bombardier. I remember when everybody was running Bombardier because it stunned boss abilities. And they didn't want that because they wanted that ability to be on a legendary unit, so like a Banshee. And they didn't want it to be on a common unit, so then everybody stopped running it, and then it just became a useless unit. Unless you're gonna make a support unit, a good unit, but even as a good unit, nobody's running Chemist, right? And nobody's running Chemist, everybody's running Trapper because it's a legendary and it's just strictly better. That's how it would work. In terms of like a common rare like epic unit. I know that people use Earth Elemental because it's very specific to Banshee, but they could do Earth Elemental talents and that would change the game. And it's just the fact that this game has become such a one-trick pony in terms of updates. Like, they're not adding new events. In fact, they took away 2 events. Random League is so constant that it doesn't feel like content. It just feels like Mirror Match. And if anything, it's actually shorter than Mirror Match. I think Mirror Match is like 4 days and Random League is like 2 days or 3 days. And so it feels even less important somehow than Mirror Match. And then Mirror Match is just Mirror Match. They reduced Dragon Rift to being worse than when it was like you had to have a good team, when you had to have a good clan. And so they reduced the effectiveness of Dragon Rift. And once you beat the dragon, you don't do anything with it. The fact that they are using all of their resources to just put new event units in is why this game is going to die. And I'm not saying that this game is going to die, but it's a step in the direction of Disney Sorcerer's Arena. And Disney Sorcerer's Arena died. You can only the idea of just adding in a new unit but not upgrading anything. Oh, you know what? That was a point that I was trying to make a long time ago. We are at the point in this game, and this is how I feel. This is going to be the thesis of my title. We are at the point in this game where adding new units, whenever anybody asks me, how do you feel about the new unit? How do you, what do you think about this new unit? Oh, is it going to be so good? Is it going to be so good? Is this new unit going to be better than Frankenstein? And the answer is yes. Because it has to be. Because if it isn't, why would you choose to get it if you had a Frankenstein from the last event? So it has to be better than Frankenstein, at least on launch. It can be worse afterwards, but at least on launch, it will be better than Frankenstein because it has to be. Because there would be no reason for people who have a Reincarnation 3 Frankenstein to spend any money on a new unit, on a new damage unit that just dies to Frankenstein. Why would they want it? And so at the very least on launch, the new unit will always be better than everything else. And the reason why I don't like talking about this, the reason why I simply don't care about the new unit is because this is how it translates to me. If you don't understand that thought process and, because that's my actual thought process, right? And it said it doesn't matter. And if you don't understand that it doesn't matter, let me translate it to you. It would be like saying, oh, they're just coming out with a new unit. Do you think this will make beating floor 13 much easier? That's what it sounds like to me. The answer is yes, but the answer is also everything in the game. You can beat floor 13 with anything in this game. You can, at a certain point in the game, you can do anything with the current stuff that's in the game. They didn't need to come out with a new thing. They should just upgrade old things to make floor 13 more interesting. I love going into floor 13 with an archer deck or a sentry deck. Things that I would never be able to use in PvP so that I can feel like I can kind of use them. so that I can feel like I can like push that random thing. Like I would love to do thrower with talons in floor 13. That's interesting. That keeps the game interesting as a player. The newest best thing to beat floor 13? Yeah, you'll probably beat floor 13 much easier with the Frankenstein than you will with an archer. You could have a reincarnation 3 Frankenstein with a level 100 Zeus. Does that make beating floor 13 easier? Is it going to be so much faster to beat floor 13? It's like, and the answer is, you can only beat it so fast. And it's only so easy, you know, like with the newest best thing. Like, you know, like there's no reason for it. There's no reason to be excited about the newest unit to be able to beat floor 13. Can we beat floor 13 with the new unit? Is it going to be easier to beat than with Phoenix, with the reincarnation 3 Phoenix and a level 100 Fortuna? Is it going to be so much easier? And it's like, yeah, probably. But who cares? Like, who cares? I'm not as excited as I once was. There was a point in my career when they would drop the newest unit, like when they would tease the newest unit, like I would be part of that like speculation. I'm like, oh, like, what do you think this is gonna do? What are the talents gonna be? Like, what kind of units this gonna be? Like, is it gonna be good? Like, you know, I used to be that. And then they came out with Phoenix and Gunslinger and Kobold and Twilight Ranger and Frankenstein and this unit. And I'm just like, I don't care anymore. I think Gunslinger and Kobold are obviously like amazing event units because they are the best support units, and I thought that was a very good step in a unique direction, other than the next best DPS unit. But now that they've created Pantheon, they've given themselves a reason to add new units that are the best, but then cycle those units to be not the best, so that people aren't always complaining, why aren't these units the best? At some point a long time ago, Riding Hood was the best, and now they've cycled it out, and now they can add Frankenstein, and now Frankenstein is the best. And so they have the ability to be like, oh, what about my Riding Hood? How come it's not the best anymore? It's like, oh, because only the Pantheon units are the best. These are the top 5 newest best units, and these are the best. And it's just like, they think that cycling is making the game interesting, and it's not doing anything to the game. It's giving you new units that they're forcing you to say that you have to buy these units in order to compete. But in my floor 13 example, you don't have to have that. You don't have to have that to get to 7K trophies. Most people that don't even have like really high crit don't need that at all. And in fact, getting those units will just make your 7K trophy road much harder. It's counterproductive to get all of these new units and to max out your account, because then it just makes the road harder for you. It's much easier to just run a Banshee deck right now than to run a Treant or to run what's it called? A Genie. It's like, Banshee is so good right now. And I'm gonna come out with my character spotlight video for it, my like complete guide for how to play Banshee, or like what's been working for me. And it has been working for me. But I'd much rather play Banshee right now than like a Treant or than a Genie. It just does. I've done like 1 trillion damage. I've done hundreds of billions of damage with a Banshee, and it's insane. And like the idea of like wanting the newest best thing every 2 months, however often they keep doing this, it's just very tiring at this point. It's tiring to talk about. It's tiring to like know that I should be covering the newest unit and to just feel no reason to, because is it the best? Yes. Is it going to be better than the last best thing? Yes. Is it gonna make the game easier for you if you reincarnate 3 it? Yes, sure. But it doesn't matter because you can probably beat the game if you have a reincarnation 3 Phoenix or if you have a reincarnation 3 Treant. And if you don't even have a reincarnation 3 any of this, because most of us don't, then why do you even care about the newest unit? If the other unit has been in this game for this long, and you don't even have that as at a reincarnation 3 at its best, then why do you even care about this unit? And if you do have that, then yeah, this unit is going to be better than that unit. Sure. Until 5 months from now, when you reincarnate 3 this unit, and 5 other units have come out. 5 other better, best units come out. And it's like, this game is just in such a state where you don't need the biggest, best thing to win. It might feel like that to you because maybe you'll lose more games than you win. But it's like, I just don't think it matters. If you can get to 7K trophies every single season, you're doing pretty well with whatever you currently have right now. It will only become a problem if you can't even get to 7K trophies anymore. And then you should probably upgrade to something else, or you should come up with a different strategy. But if you can already get to 7K trophies and have access to the stores to buy all the stuff, nothing else matters. If you can do that with a Banshee, if you can do that with a Bruiser Witch deck, do new event units matter? Does spending $500 on a new event unit matter so that you can spend $500 more 4 months from now on a new unit? I feel like people can still, like, Genie is going to cycle out, and I feel like Genie's probably going to still get you to 7K trophies, and it's not going to matter. Will this new unit make it easier to get to 7K trophies because every single game that you play, people are just going to be conceding to you? Probably, yeah. And you'll just immediately get to 7K trophies, maybe, theoretically. And until the next unit comes out, and it just simply doesn't matter. And so for anybody who like wonders like why I don't cover new units and the talents for new units and what are my thoughts on the newest new unit, this is why.